Hello everyone. So for those of you that don't know, I am a South African simmer and I'm lucky enough to live in the southern suburbs of the beautiful city of Cape Town. And the 24th of September is Heritage Day. It's a public holiday where we celebrate the culture and diversity of our country. So, in honor of Heritage Day, I have recreated my childhood home so that I can share with you some of the things that I struggle with when I make these videos, because some of the build and buy items have completely different names to what I know them as. Not everything, most of the items are the same, but there are just some things that I struggle with because I didn't grow up using those terms or those names for certain things. So if you've watched my older videos, you'll probably hear me say something and you think, what is she talking about? So I do try and use the words that everybody else in the world knows, but there are some things I really do struggle with. So I wanted to share those with you today. So this is my sim self, and she is revisiting her childhood home. So it's very dark and gloomy here today. And so this is the small home I grew up in. There is a garage on the side. So we don't have garage doors in the Sims, so I did the best that I could. So the first thing that's really difficult for me is this is a lounge. Everybody else knows it as a living room. I grew up with the term lounge, which I think in other countries is like somewhere where you go and you lounge around and you sit and drink. I don't know. Maybe someone can explain the term lounge for me. So I grew up using the term lounge for a living room. And this is a couch. She is sitting on the couch. I don't know the word sofa. So this is a couch. And we have some chairs or some armchairs, which everybody else seems to call them living chairs. Now, if all the living chairs and the sofa and the love seats were matching, it would be a lounge suite where everything matched, then we would call it a lounge suite. But this is more of a mismatched kind of lounge furniture. And then the normal things, a coffee table is a coffee table. So television is a television and it would be on a television stand, or so that's not a huge difference. So if we move on to the kitchen, there's not really any major differences in terms here. I mean, a fridge is a fridge, washing machine is a washing machine. Can't think of anything. Ah, yes. Okay, wait a minute. A major one for me, which causes me major stress, is the bin. We put our rubbish in a rubbish bin. We do not put our trash in a trash can. So that's probably one of the hardest things for me to learn, is this is a trash can. And then we have our outside bins as well, or wheelie bins. We call them wheelie bins, that the council come and collect the rubbish in. Oh, and one other difference is with our sinks, we have a kitchen sink, which is used in the kitchen. But when it's in the bathroom, it's called a basin. So in the bathroom, it's a basin. In the kitchen, it's a sink or kitchen sink. And this is a bath. We don't really call it a tub. So it's a bath. Mirrors and towels are the same. And where's the shower? Where's the shower gone? What happens? Oh, there we go. Shower is a shower. And laundry basket. Yeah, we call this a laundry basket, not a hamper. And in the bedroom, probably the biggest difference is we don't really, well, I never grew up using the term dresser. We called it a wardrobe or a cupboard. Anything you put stuff in is a cupboard. Doesn't matter if it's whatever you're putting in it. A cupboard is a cupboard. But we also called these a wardrobe, but never used the term dresser. And yeah, I mean, bed's a bed, side tables, we don't really call them end tables, but it's more of a side table. Shelving, so I mean, that's no difference. A shelf is a shelf. And this is a dressing table. I don't really know the word vanity. I've always known this as a dressing table. And then we have built-in cupboards. It's glitching a bit because I had to use move objects on and squeeze a few in. So this is a built-in cupboards. We don't really use the word. I suppose a closet is actually a walk-in. But yeah, so this would be a built-in cupboard in your house when it's built in. So this I know as a bookcase, but we would also maybe call it a bookshelf. And desk and chair. I mean, we don't really say a living chair and a dining room table chair. It's just a chair. So if we move outside, so this would be a tiny little stoep or a tiny porch or a tiny veranda, but we would call it a stoep. So we had what was called a beach pool, which I've tried to recreate. So it's a swimming pool that's got beaches on the side, and swimming pool is a swimming pool. So I grew up, anything that we climbed on was a jungle gym. We never called anything like this monkey bars. It was always a jungle gym. Anything you climbed was a jungle gym. Swing was a swing, slide was a slide, but anything that you climbed on was a jungle gym. So my kids have actually grown up with the word monkey bars, so they call these monkey bars, but I still call it a jungle gym. And this is a good old-fashioned braai. It's not a barbecue or a grill. We call it a braai, and you braai on your braai. We've got a thing called boerewors, which is like a spicy, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like a spicy sausage. So this is a bubbelas, and I actually Googled bubbelas because we have a completely different name for a bubbelas. And I did look up this little creature, and it's actually a kind of a buffalo, which I didn't know there was such a thing. But a bubbelas, which is spelled slightly differently, is when you've had too much to drink the night before and you have a major bubbelas the next day or a hangover. But I didn't realize there was actually a creature called a bubbelas, which is a kind of an Asian buffalo. But I know a bubbelas as a major hangover. So I'm actually just going to have to give my sim self an infant because there's something with infants that also has a totally different name. So I'm just quickly going to add an infant to her household. So I added an infant to the household, and the infant was placed down the road. So she has to go and fetch the baby. I'm like, why didn't they just place it in the house? So anyway, she's exhausted. She's going to go fetch the baby. So this is another thing I struggle with, the diaper change. We call these nappies, not diapers. So I've been trying to say diapers instead of nappies, which I have been struggling a bit with because I've always known them as nappies. So if you are South African and you can think of any others, let me know. So my sim self is going to have a dop or a drink. We call it a dop. And then she's going to have a jol with some friends or party, and she'll probably have a huge bubbelas tomorrow. Bye sim self. See you next time.